Blake with Boulevard Home. Today, we're gonna talk about one compressor refrigerators versus two compressor refrigerators. We're gonna say, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a huge difference between them. And we've touched on them before in a few other videos. You can go back and watch those, but we're just gonna break it down into bite-sized chunks of information here so we don't overload you with all the confusing facts between them. Two compressor refrigerators, that's for the most part has been relegated to the built-in refrigerators, the big Sub-Zeros, your bigger refrigerators that have the space to have two compressors. Now with a two compressor system, basically you have to look at your refrigerator as an all refrigerator and an all freezer just built together with one compressor for the refrigerator, one for the freezer. The advantages of having this is basically you have two different systems in here. So if your refrigerator goes out, it doesn't necessarily mean your freezer is going to go out. A failure can affect both systems, but it's rare. So if you have a leak in what's called the condenser, that's where it's up in the top. If you have a leak in there, then yes, the refrigerant can leak out of both the refrigerator and the freezer side, depending on the manufacturer. For the most part, they're independent systems, so they're going to work independently from each other. With this, you have the peace of mind of thinking, well, geez, if my freezer goes out, my refrigerator is still going to work, which is fantastic, and vice versa. Most freestanding refrigerators, that has been relegated to just a single compressor system. So if the compressor fails, you lose both compartments, no matter what. With the newest refrigerant coming out, which is called R600, they can make the compressors small enough and compact enough they can actually put them in the machine compartment of the refrigerator. So Bosch has come out with a refrigerator, and they're about the only one on the market that does have this, but they have a dual compressor system. So with this, you have the same advantages you have with the larger one, that the refrigerator compartment is a refrigerator compartment, the freezer compartment is a freezer compartment. If one side fails, the other side is not necessarily going to fail. So you have some type of backup with it. With having that type of system, the advantages is, well, you're going to have less running costs because the apartment that needs refrigeration or needs cooling at that point, it's only going to turn on that compressor. And so the compressor isn't going, a single compressor is not going to run to cool off both compartments when you only need one of them to be cooled. So over the life of it, it's going to save you energy. It's going to save potential breakdowns because they're not running so much, and each one of them is sharing the load as far as keeping them cool. The disadvantages is repair costs. You automatically know that because you have these two systems in there, you got two of everything. Well, have two of everything and you're going to have 2 times the price to fix it and the 2 times of the failure rate. The more the compressor runs, the more chance you have of it failing over time. Just like having a car with 100,000 miles versus 50,000 miles in the engine. So having the dual compressor system, the only thing we can really do to keep them running less is to make sure that we've got great airflow through there. So always make sure you clean your condensers. You clean the vents in the back of your refrigerator that leads to the compressors so they can breathe. Make sure that you have the proper clearances around your refrigerator. So when you put it in the tight opening that it barely fits, well, if it barely fits in there, you know you're not going to get any airflow back to the compressor in that compartment back there to keep it cool. Make sure your doors are shut all the way when you're done using it. These are the things you can help do save the compressor. But other than that, there's not much else you can do with a, what are we talking about again? I'm so lost right now. In a nutshell, is it better overall? Yes. Is it more complicated for the servicer? Yes. For you, the homeowner, is it more energy efficient? Yes. Is it going to keep your food more consistently cold because you have 2 different systems? Yes. Take this information and look around, and so when you go and buy a refrigerator, you know what you're looking for and you know what you want, and you know the advantages of 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 1, whatever way you want to look at it. So I hope this information was helpful to you to kind of break down the differences between a single compressor and a dual compressor is. But if you have any questions or any comments, please put them below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Well, we have lots of other videos for you to watch, so please like and subscribe, and you can check out all these other videos, and we'll find out lots of interesting stuff you may or may not want to know, but at least you'll have that information, and information is power. So thanks for watching.